Welcome back, everybody, to look at a new indicator release, and it is 1943's Sahara. So this is directed by Zoltan Korda, who also did the films Counterattack and A Woman's Vengeance, also from the 1940s. And yeah, this is an action war film, clocking in at 97 minutes long. It's quite a stacked cast, to be fair. Got likes of Humphrey Bogart, who I've seen in 26 other films now. More recent ones that I've seen from him have been Angels with Dirty Faces and the Roaring Twenties, both of which got a release last year on physical disc. And then we've got Bruce Bennett, who was in The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, Dark Passage, both of which were also alongside Bogart, and Sudden Fear. You got J. Carroll Naish, who was in House of Frankenstein, Violent Saturday, Calling Dr. Death, and Strange Confession. He was actually nominated for a supporting actor role in this as well. Then you got Lloyd Bridges, who was in Trapped, High Noon, and Airplane. Rex Ingram, who was in The Thief of Baghdad, and Dan Dariah, who was in Lights of Scarlet Street, Criss Cross, and another desert-orientated film in the form of The Flight of the Phoenix. So, yeah, separated from his unit following the fall of Tobruk, Master Sergeant Joe Gunn and his crew flee in a tank across the Sahara, picking up a variety of stragglers and prisoners along the way. With their survival entirely dependent on the water from a depleted well, the group must defend it against a whole German battalion. Now, even though the well is depleted, they try and make it look like it hasn't been. So they do a really rather interesting bit of a fake ruse where it looks like they're washing their face, but they're not. Because obviously, if you were, low on water, washing your face would be the last thing you'd be doing. So yeah, they try and make it look like there is a lot of water there, so the Germans who need it go on and to try and fight for it, and it slows down their otherwise successful campaign along North Africa by a great deal, as there is a good 500 of them that are then ultimately made to fight for this well. So yeah, it's a really good ruse in that regard. Now, I haven't seen much from Humphrey Bogart that isn't either a crime film or a film noir. I think the only ones that I've seen that aren't in those genres are likes of The African Queen. It's the only other one that's coming to mind immediately. But this is definitely one of my favourites that isn't in either of those genres that I have seen from him. Speaking of Bogart, he is once again great. The supporting cast is really rather good. The pacing is on point, even though it isn't overly violent, although there is some blood that is shown. It still doesn't shy away from how literally anyone can be killed at any time, which obviously lends it some realism being in a war film. The action scenes are well executed, the production is convincing, the score is well done, the characterization is effective, and it is an engrossing film throughout as well. So, yeah, to be honest, outside of some more cliches and um, some lacking characterization in certain areas for certain characters, it is overall a really rather excellent effort and one that I highly recommend. And yeah, it's really nice to own another Bogart film in my collection. So yeah, this is one of 4 releases that Indicator have released for this January. The second one is obviously behind me, Edge of Eternity. But I'm not really interested in the other two. I might well try them in terms of renting them, but yeah, one of them looks decent but not particularly spectacular, and one is extremely problematic given a certain 1930s dictator said it was one of his favourite films. So yeah, I'm not really too fussed about that one. So yeah, there's the disc. What I really like about the artwork is the fact that Bogart's name is bigger than the actual title itself. I guess Sahara isn't much of a sell, but Bogart certainly was even in 1943. Um, they've got reversible sleeve artwork as well, which I actually kind of prefer. It's a bit more action orientated. Also removes the rating that it's got as well. Surprised it's only rated a PG because, like I said, there is obviously a lot of people that get killed. There is some blood in there, definitely some tension as well. We also get a booklet with this as well, which has a shot of Bogart. I think that's from the film, and then the director on the back. And yeah, inside we've got your cast and your crew, and we've got Desert Victory by Imogen Sarah Smith from 2025. And yeah, we get a bunch of shots from the film. It's actually nice to see that there's a non-white character in this film that isn't, a caricature. He isn't there for laughs. He isn't there to be, downtrodden on. He is as equal as the other Allied soldiers, and yeah, that's a really, really good thing. And for a film that is, 82 years old now, that is was a massive surprise. You also get The Bogarts of Brawley by Eliza from 1943. So Humphrey Bogart and his wife Mayo were interviewed by the anonymous Liza of Screenland magazine during the production of Sahara. In fact, his wife was the only woman on set, I believe. She was the only one of the cast to, related or no, married to one of the cast members to actually be on the set. Now, granted, it wasn't in the actual Sahara Desert; it was filmed in a desert in California. But yeah, that just shows that she actually cared about him, was actually feeding him sandwiches apparently when he was on the set. Then you get Kurt Kruger playing the game by Virginia Wright. So Swiss German actor Kurt Kruger was profiled by Hollywood columnist Virginia Wright as he prepared to appear in Sahara, then known by the working title Somewhere in Sahara. And yeah, he plays the a German prisoner. Kind of plays up to that archetype, but then again, it was bound to, given this is a film that was released in the midst of World War II. Then we've got Selling Sahara. For the release of Sahara in the autumn and winter of 1943, exhibitors were encouraged to tie in with a variety of initiatives designed to bolster public support for the war effort, such as war bond drives, Women's Auxiliary Corps, recruitment, and displays of military hardware. The following examples drawn from Showman's Trade Review are indicative of how the film was sold. Cool. And there's some photos from such things like that. No idea where they find these photos. I swear to God, it's really rather quite remarkable that they do that. And then we've also got a couple of shorts as well on this disc, um, which we'll get into when we look at the special features. And then we've got the presentation. So Sahara was sourced from Sony's HD remaster. The film's original mono soundtrack was remastered at the same time. And then it seems that the shorts were also supplied in high definition as well. Sorry about my voice. We've also got an alternative poster in the back there as well. So, in terms of special features, hang on, just want to get the shorts open on the booklet as well so I can reference them. So, yeah, we've got audio commentary with screenwriter and novelist C. Courtney Joyner from 2025. Small Miracles from 2025, clocking at 13 minutes long. In-depth appreciation by Isaac Kochbach, curator, filmmaker, and editor of The Lady with the Torch, Columbia Pictures, 1929 to 1959. Then we've got Building a Tank from 1942, clocking at 20 minutes long. So that is that. So this is a documentary short on the work of the Detroit Tank Arsenal and the manufacture and testing of the M3 Lee tank, which prominently features in Sahara. So yeah, that's in black and white. It's 137 to 1 aspect ratio, and in the English language, of course. I'm not sure if it says who directed that one. It doesn't seem to. Then we've also got The Siege of Tobruk from 1942, a 17-minute documentary short produced by the UK's Army Film Unit detailing the World War II military campaign in the North African port of Tobruk during 1941, which preceded the events portrayed in this film. So that is also in 137 to 1 aspect ratio, English language, black and white. Got Colin Wills on commentator and music by Richard Adamsell. I don't think I've heard of those before. And then we've got original theatrical trailer and an image gallery, as well as new and improved English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. This is UK premiere on Blu-ray. Again, nice to have another Bogart film on Blu-ray. And it's a limited edition of 3,000 copies for the UK as well. So, yeah, overall, a really rather in-depth release, quite frankly. I really like the different artworks that we've got going on. It's not always the case that we get, a different artwork. Usually the artwork that you see on the front is the same on the reverse, just minus the rating that it has. So, yeah, nice to have different artwork in that regard. In-depth booklet. The Blu-ray itself looks really good. No issues in terms of the sound or the quality at all. especially when it comes to the action scenes, which sometimes can make the sound peak, but that's just not the case. And yeah, decent amount of extras on there as well. So yeah, on the whole, a really rather good film and a really rather excellent release as well. 4 out of 5 for the film. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it so far or already. Especially if you want to get into your Bogart films that aren't film noir crime films, then yeah, I really recommend this one. But if you have seen it, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Nonetheless, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.